Mic check 1, 2, 3.
Now, let's dive into the Clattenburg-Salah debate.
All right.
I thought it was going to be a little bit smoother than that.
Lay it in. Drop your verdicts. What do you want to say?
Edgar, this is
Well, can you explain to the listeners what Clattenburg said?
Well, I mean, I think it's closer to you, so I think you should give your
Because you agreed to one out of the four paragraphs.
I'm going to debate it. Exactly.
Of what you send us.
What did Clattenburg say?
I'll bring up the
All right, there's and this is going to go beyond Salah and Clattenburg and Liverpool, and this is going to be in general. I think a topic about diving and what's really considered diving. And honestly, this week I had an experience where I'm like, I get it. I get why it's so difficult to figure out.
I can agree to the majority of it, but it's not all accurate. My opinion.
Well, all right.
So break it down.
What's
what part?
the inaccurate part for you?
Yeah.
All of it. No, I'm all right. So yes, he's a penalty taker. Yes, he gives them every so often. He gives it to another player depending on the situation. I just don't think that Salah's. He wants to score the goals. I just don't think he's like, oh, I want to be the number one goal scorer in the league. I think it's more, I just want the goals for the team so the team would win. Yeah. I don't think he's that greedy. Yeah. Like he wants that for himself. That's the one thing I don't agree on. The whole throwing your arms up in the air. Yes, I've seen it. So the majority of the times I've seen a false call for a penalty. The player trying to dive. Most of the time they do lift their hands. You can kind of notice that they're kind of diving.
Agreed.
But sometimes the action is to lift up your hands because you can't break your fall when you're going back, or your hands are already up because you're jumping or whatever. So that's another one that I think that you can't just call or go to VAR just because the player lift up their hands, because it could be an actual foul and he has his hands up.
Just because he put his hands up doesn't mean that it wasn't a foul.
Correct.
It may mean that he's trying to bring the attention to himself, but not necessarily that.
Correct. And for the most part, you can actually tell which ones are fake because they're halfway down. They're already asking for the penalty.
But I think that's what he means by that. Like instead of breaking for the fall, he's already like
Yeah. And those I can see you can automatically penalize.
That's what he
if you go in that direction, then yes, but you can't see them all.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my point. Because you could do that when you really did get fouled and you're falling on your side. Well, even if you don't put your arms out to break your fall, you know that you're going to fall maybe on your back and, still drawing attention to yourself.
As long as it's not on your head, you're good.
Exactly. If you're going to fall on your face and you stick your arms out and don't try to break your face, then I give him all the due worth for the first paragraph. Yes, Mo should have gotten a yellow card or get a suspension if they review it. I didn't like what he did against Sacco. I saw what he did, and it was a complete bullshit dive. That's what it was. So I'm not cutting Salah any break here. What I do want to say is, though, if you do get fouled, it's not your responsibility to play through the foul. If you got fouled enough to fall over, take the foul sometimes. Put the decision on the ref.
But he didn't get fouled.
He didn't get fouled. No. But what if he did get fouled and went down that way? Like
we're talking about what ifs. This is factual right now. At this point, we know he didn't get fouled.
Exactly.
So you can't say what if because that moment hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, until he falls he didn't that get way, actually based off a foul. Then
the thing is that they're calling for the review of a lot of his.
But they're not calling for a review. They're just
he's not calling it. But my point is, he's referencing other ones where it was, and again, he did get fouled in the others. Comes down to the
Newcastle every time
one,
he gets a penalty.
Comes down to the Arsenal one. Comes down to the Brighton one, and all of those I think were legitimate for the ref to review and consider whether it was a foul or not. Now, obviously, this year we can't, but next year it'll be reviewable. Just the one that clearly wasn't was the Mamadou Sakho one. No, Mamadou Sakho. My point. We showed 5 examples, and I'm talking with Marco about what he has to be, whether it has to be one or the other.
The thing.
Suarez was just a diver.
Yeah. So what I think is for him or for any other player, every so often as a forward, you're allowed a dive or two.
Yes.
But a season. When you're doing this in the first half season, come on, you're just going to start, you're creating a pattern. You're creating a reason why people want to talk about you because you're doing shit like this.
If he doesn't,
and then they're going to start considering you a diver.
If he doesn't do the one against Mamadou Sakho where it's clear that he's really trying to get that penalty, do you consider the others?
There's still dives, but you wouldn't be talking about it though.
That's my point.
So
that's
the thing. But now, that's
my point.
Yeah, the point is that if he didn't do it so often, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah.
No.
So that's what I said.
Point.
Players are allowed a dive or two after, but not so consecutive, so many that you start seeing it. Okay, he dived this time.
All right, so right now
he dived this week too.
We're looking.
Oh, 2 weeks ago he dived, and now he's diving again.
How do you determine a pattern? Because a pattern
from what we saw here, Crystal Palace can be considered a dive, and Newcastle could be considered a dive.
And the Arsenal
one,
we can argue that one.
There was two sets of contact within like a set. You can argue it.
We can. So
but that's what comes down to a 50-50?
Yeah.
At that point,
when it comes down to 50-50, the ref is just going to call it.
No, but I'm saying we can argue it though.
You can though, because if it's a 50-50, then it's really... A dive is either like 90% dive, 10% foul, right? That's my point of view on it.
You can't really say that.
That one,
it's case by case.
It's case by case, but that one against Arsenal, if it is a 50, and I do consider kind of like a 50-50 chance, then it could go both ways. I don't consider that full on dive. It sounds weird, but
my point.
But
you're
creating something.
It sounds like you're defending how much of a dive he can do now. It's like... Before you were, I hate diving. I hate this.
I do hate diving.
But now it's like if he dives at this point, it's okay. Or if he dives because he's not gonna reach the ball, but it's not. It looks like a foul, but it's not really a foul. It's okay.
No.
It sounds like you're defending him a little bit with these antics.
No, I'm noticing that there is an advantage of going down. I just don't like the way he goes down. I'm talking about
what's this advantage?
The advantage going down?
Yeah.
To put the decision on the ref. When it's a 50-50 foul, like the one at Arsenal. If he would have stayed up and tried to fall through that one, I would have been like, dude, come on. Like, at that point, you should have known. Just put the decision on the ref because you did get fouled.
So Newcastle one?
Newcastle one? See, that one to me was more of a dive. I'm not completely happy with it, but I also put a lot of the blame on the Crystal Palace player. There's no reason for him to reach out on the Newcastle player. There's no reason for him to reach out and pull on Salah. And that's the blame on the defender. So, again, I'm okay with the ref being put on the spot. Crystal Palace? No, that's not correct. The Brighton one also where he gets tugged and he swings at it, and obviously he's not going to hit it, but it's like, all right, it's clear he got fouled. So that's another one where everybody's reviewing now, but if it hadn't been for the Crystal Palace one, nobody would be reviewing.
And we're trying to determine if Salah's a diver or not. I think we're kind of on the same boat.
Yeah,
you're saying he decides when to do it, and it's okay when he does it because for the most part he fights through the most of them.
Not through the most of them. What I'm saying is, and this is true for any forward, if you get fouled and you consider that it was a good 50-60 chance that you did get fouled, I don't mind putting the decision on the ref. You know what I mean? But if it's clear, like the one you did at Newcastle, like the one that you did at Crystal Palace, in example Mo Salah, those aren't correct, and I want those out of the game. I even think a suspension or a yellow card is merited.
I know you're the answer to this, but I have to, just to kind of clarify, it's a lot of diver.
Yes.
I did not expect that. Holy shit! Okay,
yes, he's turning into a diver. It's because it's the same things that I used to see Suarez do, and I remember seeing Suarez, and I hated when we won penalties like that.
I thought you were saying
but at the same time,
okay.
No, he's turning into a diver, and I don't like that.
On that bandwagon with them.
What if the same calls would be made, but Salah didn't take the penalty kicks? Would he still be considered a diver? Because I feel like with other forwards, they dive all the time, but they don't always take the penalty kick. So it's just like it's not a big consequence, I guess.
I think the conversation is more of a dive or not of him trying to chase the golden boot. Because I think that's the point Clanberg was trying to make, that he's diving to get the golden boot.
Yeah, and I don't think that's what he's
I think that was a little far fetched. I think he was to be considered a diver if this is still brought to light. But it's not because he wants to get the golden boot.
Right.
He wants to get the goal, and he wants to get the fucking goal. All right. That's it. It's part of the game.
I think we're basically down to semantics. Salah is turning into a diver, and I don't like that as a Liverpool fan. Suarez used to be that. Again, got us a lot of goals, tied the record, but I wasn't happy the way he did it. It's not fair to him to say that he's a diver now because he's only... Really, we're talking about 2-3 opportunities that turn into penalties that are debatable when he's been fouled a lot more, and all of a sudden he's getting the fame for being a diver.
No, you're right. No,
that's like you're good for 90% of your life, and then you make 1 or 2 mistakes in like within 6 months, and all of a sudden that's the fame for you for the rest of your life. Yeah. That's unfair.
Yeah, you can't put him in the Neymar category.
Thank you. And I think that's where this is.
And that's the divers of divers.
Neymar
or
Suarez.
What
happened to Neymar,
and Suarez. Like, that's the last one.
They fucked up his ankle.
Come on, that's the last one.
Okay.
Before that, there was a lot more.
That I guess very eloquently said.
I
don't want to put Salah in the Suarez category.
No,
At
don't
least
put him.
not yet.
He's building up to it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
he found the path. Okay, I like Get off of it.
I like that. There's 2 types of divers. The Neymars who actually get hit and should go down, I think, because
I think it's 50-50. I think they get
Suarez pretends he gets a heart attack in the middle of the game. And
no, for me, Neymar and Suarez are on the same path.
No,
they both get hit, but
Messi's on the path that I want Salah to go on.
He'll get hit.
But there was a time where Messi was getting judged for going down too easily. He was able to get himself off that path, and now we don't see him as a diver.
That also depends on the character of the player.
That's another discussion, Neymar and his diving. I think most of the time he does get hit.
No, he does. Like last one when he got injured, that was 3 in a row, and then he went down. Yeah, which is. And then
he went in his bag and did a little Yo, he's sturdy, bro.
As clean as that was, come on. Sometimes I feel like he's asking for it, but there's all right. So that is. But in his case, and I just don't want to extend this more than it already is. In his case, 50% of them are actual fouls, and he should go down for them. The other ones,
don't say 50% because that's a lot.
But he's also gotten a lot of fouls, and I really can't remember all.
That's our judgment from what we've seen.
Yeah,
and I mean, again, everybody's judgment could be a little different, but at the end of the day, he does have the fame for going down too easily.
The World Cup, hands down, for example. Like, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I get what you guys are saying. I just think Suarez is by far 100 times worse than anybody else in the world. So Salah,
he's on the path.
He's on the path of becoming a diver, Salah, and he should stop it.
Please stop. We're all.
The conclusion is, Salah, stop your antics or not. You're gonna be in the category of Suarez and Neymar.
Find a messy path.
That just took us like 15-20 minutes.